Have you ever looked at a company and just wondered what's really going on? Behind the fancy logos and the big headlines? Well, every company has a story, a secret story that's hidden right there in the numbers. Today, we're going to learn how to read it. We're going to look at a company's financial DNA. So let's get right into it. Imagine you've got some cash and you're ready to invest. You see companies all around you, some getting tons of hype, others just quietly doing their thing. How do you tell the difference? How do you spot a company that's genuinely strong and not just putting on a good show? Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Okay, let's meet our two case studies for today. In this corner, we've got Flash Fashion. They are the hot new thing, super trendy, and their sales are just exploding. And in the other corner, Staple Supplies. You know this company. They're reliable, they're consistent, kind of slow and steady. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to figure out which one is the smarter investment. So how are we going to do that? What are our secret weapons? They're called financial ratios. And I promise they're not as complicated as they sound. Just think of them as our detective's toolkit. They're simple calculations that let us peek behind the curtain and get clues about what's really going on with a company's health. All right, our investigation starts right here with the cash cushion check. We're looking at something called liquidity. Basically, does the company have enough cash lying around to pay its bills without panicking? Can it handle a surprise expense? It's their financial safety net. And the main tool we use for this is the current ratio. It asks a really simple question. If all your bills that are due this year suddenly showed up, could you pay them off with the assets you have on hand right now? It's a fundamental stress test. And check this out. Here's our first major clue. Flash Fashion has a current ratio of 2.5. That means for every single dollar it owes in the short term, it has $2.50 ready to go. Now look at Staple Supplies. They only have $1.25 for every dollar they owe. So, what's this telling us? Right off the bat, Flash Fashion looks like it has a way bigger, comfier safety net. They seem way better prepared for a rainy day. On the surface, they look like the safer bet, right? But a good detective never stops at the first clue. Is this really the whole story? Because see, having a big pile of cash is great, but it's only half the picture. It's not just about how much money you have, it's about how fast your business can generate new money. We're talking about efficiency here. Let's call it business speed. Every single business on the planet runs on this basic cycle. You buy inventory, your stuff, you sell that stuff, you collect the cash from the sale, and then you do it all over again. The faster you can spin this wheel, the healthier your business is. Speed is everything. Now, to measure this speed, we use a ratio called inventory turnover. It tells us how many times a company sells through its entire pile of stuff in a single year. You can think of it as how quickly are things flying off the shelves. The higher this number, the faster and more efficient the business is. And, this is the plot twist in our investigation. Get this. Flash Fashion only sells through its inventory 2.5 times a year. Meanwhile, Staple Supplies sells its entire stock a whopping 10 times a year. That is a night and day difference in speed. So what does this clue reveal? Well, Staple Supplies is a cash-generating machine. Its products do not stick around. But Flash Fashion, despite that big cash cushion, has a problem. All those trendy clothes, they're just sitting on the shelves, collecting dust, not turning into cash. And in the fashion world, that's a huge, huge risk. What's cool today is on the clearance rack tomorrow. Okay, this is where it all comes together. This is where the real detective work happens. You can't just look at one clue by itself. You have to connect the dots. You've got to see how that cash cushion, the liquidity, relates to the business speed, the efficiency. And there it is, the big aha moment. Flash Fashion has a huge safety net, which is awesome, but it's really slow at turning its products into actual money. Staple Supplies, on the other hand, has a smaller cushion, but it is incredibly fast and efficient. It's the classic trade-off, the safe but slow company versus the fast but lean one. And this really is the key. A single number by itself can be totally misleading. It just hammers home the point that you have to look at everything together. You need to understand the whole story, not just one single chapter. So after all that, after gathering our clues, connecting the dots, we're right back where we started. It is time to make a decision, but this time you're armed with way more information. So I'm going to turn this one back to you. Now that you have the clues, which company would you pick? And here's the thing, there's no single right answer. It all depends on your style. Are you an investor who wants that big safety cushion, even if it means things are a bit slow? Then maybe flash fashion's for you. Or do you prefer a super efficient, fast-moving machine, even if it runs a little leaner? Then you might go with Staple Supplies. The best company really just depends on your own strategy. And that is the real power of financial ratios. We just looked at two simple numbers, but we uncovered this whole complex story about safety versus speed. The numbers are out there and they're always telling a story. And now you know how to listen.